Batman Returns is a very original, creative, and inventive pile of crap. Or I guess I should say,
kitty litter.
Somehow this movie got decent reviews and is often now proclaimed as one of the best superhero films ever made, to which I have to say, really? How is this even considered a superhero movie at all, let alone a great one? Batman Returns is a dark and twisted Christmas movie that doubles as a political thriller and a weird sex comedy.
That's the pussy I've been looking for.
That just occasionally has a hero in a cape show up to murder handicapped carnival workers. If I'm in the minority and think it's a step down from Tim Burton's first Batman flick, and if I'm in the really small minority by thinking it's not even as good as Batman Forever, then let me just at least state that of all the movies I don't really care for, this is one of the most watchable and intriguing ones.
Tragic irony or poetic justice? You tell me.
I often complain about the sameness of Hollywood films today, especially superhero ones, and at least Batman Returns is one of a kind. So special that McDonald's had to cancel the freaking Happy Meal toys because kids were so terrified of the nasty little movie itself.
Tonight, while their parents party, they'll be dreaming away in their safe cribs, their soft beds, and we will snatch them, carry them into the sewer, and toss them into a deep, dark, watery grave.
So first, let's focus on the positives, of which there's admittedly quite a few. The music by Danny Elfman is absolutely fantastic. His score for the first Batman remains the finest superhero score ever written, but this one is damn close, sounding like a gothic winter wonderland gone horribly wrong. Performances are mostly excellent. Michael Keaton clearly doesn't give a shit, and for good reason, but Michelle Pfeiffer does a decent job at a terrible character, Danny Devito does a great job as an improper character, and Christopher Walken does a perfect job as a character no one has ever heard of or cares about. But now let's talk about the negatives, immediately starting with the other star of the film, Tim Burton. People talk him up as a great director, but personally I think he's really overrated. Not just because of how all his most recent movies are just Johnny Depp-filled black and white gobs of nonsense, but even just back here in the early 90s, how his style wasn't really all that stylish. I mean, closely analyze the setups of Batman Returns. Are there any shots that stick out in your head for being memorable, or do you just remember them from the weird shit shoved into the frame?
Meow.
Most of the flick is just standard shot reverse shot, done in normal angles on flat tripods. People compare this movie to German Expressionism, but geez, guys, it's not even close. Just because it's dark and weird doesn't mean Burton is actually doing anything flashy or intelligent with his camera. But, you know, whatever, there's creepy clowns and big rubber ducks, so I guess that makes him a genius. Now, certainly he's not an action director. Even with the first Batman, which I loved, the action was filmed pretty sloppy, and here he intercuts almost any action scene with just some more wacky penguin hijinks and other such nonsense.
You ask me, how do I lure them in? A little pied penguin action.
Truth be told, the best parts of the film, surprisingly, are the quiet scenes between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. Both should obviously have a pretty good clue as to who they actually are, but the interaction between them and how when they take their masks off is actually the only times they're wearing emotional masks is pretty cool. And the reveal at the dance is the best acted, written, and shot scene in the movie.
The kiss under the mistletoe. You know, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
A kiss can be even deadly. If you mean it.
Oh my God. Does this mean we have to start fighting?
Let's go outside.
But this isn't really a Catwoman movie, despite people always remembering the leather and horrible one-liners.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
And it certainly isn't a Batman movie, who I don't even think has a single line of dialogue for the first 45 minutes.
Mr. Wayne, something wrong?
No. His parents.
No, this is a Penguin movie, showcasing a horribly mistreated freak rise from the sewers to eventually run for mayor of Gotham before becoming, in the end, the most ridiculous Bond villain the world has ever seen.
The liberation of Gotham has begun!
It's here, unfortunately, the movie completely falls apart. No blame should be made on DeVito, who's as disgusting and unpleasant as Burton wanted him to be. No, but I place blame on the screenwriters, Daniel Waters and Sam Hamm, and apparently a grocery store full of other unnamed screenwriters from the panic lots of Warner Brothers. Almost nothing in this plot makes sense. He starts out blackmailing Max Schreck into finding his parents, and then, okay, he does. But while it should have been Penguin's plan to then use this newfound celebrity into becoming mayor, it's actually all Schreck's idea.
But someone's got to supplant our standing in the way of progress, Mayor, and don't deny it, Mr. Cobblepot.
You've got the magic.
Your charisma's bigger than both of us.
Why does he do this? What can he expect to gain? He hated Penguin and wanted him gone, so why did he suddenly do everything he could to get him elected as mayor?
Reclaim my birthright, you mean?
Imagine as mayor, you have the ear of the media. Access the captains of industry. Unlimited poontang.
You drive a hard bargain, Maxie. All right, I'll be mayor.
And when this plot winds up being so easily tossed aside by Batman anyway, why did they spend so much screen time on it? The fucking story doesn't make a lick of sense, from Penguin's plans to Shrek's motivations to Selena Kyle surviving being murdered and then goes right back to work, and Shrek is just like, screw it, I'll push her harder next time. Like, what?
Bottom line, she tries to blackmail me. I'll drop her out a higher window. Meantime, I got better fish to fry.
So, I don't know. I mean, overall, Batman Returns isn't a failure of a movie because of its lack of Batman, or because of its lame action, or its undeniable sense of creepiness, weirdness, hostility, and DeVito puke. No, it's a failure because of its unfocused screenplay, its shoddy plotting, and its director clearly being more interested in weirdos and costumes at Christmas time than telling an interesting and involving story. There are some 4-star elements here, but also a lot of 1-star elements, so whatever. I give it 2.5 fries out of 5.